Welcome to tonight's Dharma talk on this February 29th, Leap Day, or sometimes called Leap Year's Day. If you're born on February 29th, you're known as a leapling. Maybe we should all be called that. Leaping into this, leaping into here and now. There's a German word that this calls to mind, Liebling. Mein Liebling, loved one, beloved. That you are. Last night, as I was falling asleep and wondering what to talk about tonight, an old cheer, learned way back in grade school, surfaced with a twist. Instead of, what do we want? When do we want it? I heard, what are we doing? Practicing. When are we doing it? Now. And as soon as you say that, it's gone. This, here, now, already gone. And boundless. There's a translation of the last line of the Heart Sutra by David Brazier. He renders it, go beyond, and go beyond that, and go beyond again, and then again, and again, and again. Zen holds this sutra together with a line from one of Mumonkan's verses. Before a step is taken, the goal is reached. Already so. Already complete, entire. And yet, we leap. We sit. We practice. We come home to who and what we truly are gradually. And then, maybe in one unguarded moment, a flash of reality, falling into this. Before turning to a koan, I'd like to share two poems as pointers to this homecoming. The first one was sent to me just recently by a Mountain Cloud student from the UK, something he's held near and dear for a long time. It's by Seamus Heaney, the Irish poet. And it's called Postscript. This is what he writes. And sometime, make the time to drive out west into County Clare, along the flaggy shore, in September or October, when the wind and the light are working off each other, so that the ocean on one side is wild with foam and glitter, and inland among stones, the surface of a slate gray lake is lit by the earthed lightning of a flock of swans. Their feathers ruffed and ruffling, white on white. Their fully grown, headstrong-looking heads tucked or cresting or busy underwater. Useless to think you'll park and capture it more thoroughly. You are neither here nor there. A hurry through which known and strange things pass. As big, soft buffetings come at the car sideways and catch the heart off guard and blow it open. The other poem is a short one by Li Bai, a Tang Dynasty poet, a pilgrim, a practitioner. It's translated by Sam Hamhill, called Zazen on Qing Ting Mountain. Just smiling because we're sitting here on a mountain. You there sitting in the cloud. So here's Li Bai's poem. The birds have vanished down the sky. Now the last cloud drains away. We sit together, the mountain and me, until only the mountain remains. Let the world catch the heart off guard and blow it open. Sit together, you and you and you and you, until only one remains. Who is that one? There's a koan that leaps forth with a response, a presentation, a flash of awakening. It appears in both the Gateless Gate, or Mumonkan, and the Blue Cliff Record, or Hekiganroku. Case 18, case 12. It's the case in both instances, and it's a famous one. Blink, and you'll miss it. Here it comes. A monk asked Tozan, "What is Buddha?" Tozan said, "Masagin, 3 pounds of flax." That's it. I feel like we could chant and go home. But let's look at it. Tozan Shusho, or Dongshan Shaoshu, is a Dharma successor of Unman, 10th century, 910 to 990. And if you've been around Zen for a while, many have, we know this other Tozan, or Dongshan, the founder of the Soto sect, Soto school. This is a different Tozan, or Dongshan. And not so much is known of him, except that we have this fantastic koan in the Mumonkan, or Gateless Gate, case 15, that's his awakening story. And we have some record of his teaching. So I'll just go to that. This is a sampling It's from Andy Ferguson. I often turn to him. He has this really terrific resource, Zen's Chinese Heritage. And you can look up any one of these Chinese masters and the record of their teaching is there. So this was Tozan after his awakening, and he takes up residence in a monastery as a teacher. So he's addressing his monks. This is the first bit in this record of teaching. Language doesn't help matters. Speech does not bring forth the truth. Those burdened by language are lost. Those held up by words are deluded. Do you understand? You patch-robed monks should be clear about it. If you come here, you must start using the Dharma eye. It's just like I say, but I've erred about one thing. What error is there in the words I've spoken? Masagin is a clue. And here are a couple of other clues from Tozan's teaching. A monastic asks Tozan, "What do the ancient holy ones do?" And Tozan says, "Enter the mud, enter the water." A monastic asks, "What is it when one takes the distant journey?" This distant journey. Tozan says, if the weather is clear, you can't go. Wait until the rain soaks your head. Get wet. A monastic asks, "What is Buddha?" And on that occasion, Tozan says, "The crystal clear truth." Here he says, Masagin. Then, the crystal clear truth. This question, what is Buddha, comes up often in the koans. And there are many responses. Someone asks, "Unman, what is Buddha?" And he famously said, "Dried shit stick." Maybe he was looking at the latrine. Basso is asked, Master Basso, and says, "The very mind is Buddha." And then another time he says, "No mind, no Buddha." Joshu's asked and says, "It's the one in the shrine." Another teacher says, 32 auspicious marks. Are these responses different? What is Buddha? We might hear the question and start to figure it. Buddha, literally the awakened one, or awakening, enlightenment. Or Shakyamuni Buddha. Who was he? What did he awaken to, realize some 2,500 years ago? And what does that have to do with now? What is Buddha? In his commentary on Mumonkan 18, this case, Yamada Kon Roshi writes, "If we try to answer this question by means of an explanation, we would have to say a great many things indeed." A clear pitfall with a koan. For the moment, let us take this Buddha to be the Buddha mind, our essential nature or our primal face before our parents were born. Primal face, original face, original love. As we have come to hear it, before knowing that one face. Yamada Kon Roshi goes on, it's the Buddha Hakuin Zenji speaks about when he says, all living beings by nature are Buddha. What is Buddha? The question itself is an intimate presentation. Those students asking, earnestly asking, haven't yet grasped it. What is Buddha? Who am I? What is fundamental reality? What is this? Tozan doesn't miss a beat. Masagin. Masagin. Literally 3 pounds of flax. Not literally, it's just Japanese for 3 pounds of flax. It's thought that maybe Tozan Dongshan was weighing flax when the monk asks his question. So we might think, whatever you're doing in the moment, that's Buddha. But there's no room for an equation. This isn't about intellectual understanding or words as pointers. Concepts can't touch it because they divide what is by nature one. One radiance, one illumination, one beating heart. Masagin. 3 pounds of flax. Mumon's verse to this case says it. Masagin juts forth. That's it. That's you. No front or back, no inside or outside. This one dynamic entirety, freely functioning. Mumon's commentary asks, commentary to this case, where do you see Tozan? Where is he? Masagin. Ma. Table, computer, floor. Sa. Altar, flowers, candle. Gin. G. Bombs. Bodies. Broken hearts. This is my body. No thing and nothing excluded. Master Ingo starts his introduction to this case in the Blue Cliff Record version. The sword that kills, the sword that gives life. We hear that over and over in this practice, this sharpest sword. Here, it's nothing but Masagin. Really face this Masagin, and your separate self can't survive. Cut off that delusion and everything comes forth. We lose the life we think we can measure and fix, hold and incrementally secure. We lose it. But we gain everything. We gain the whole world. Wherever you turn. This is what I am. At our Zazen Kai last Saturday, someone spoke of abandoning the ways of the conceptual mind and instead letting the heart be the vehicle for looking, seeing. What might it be to see with the eyes of the heart? And what if the heart, this shin, that word heart-mind, what if it's one throughout? And each bit is all of it. Mumonkan says, words are intimate, and the mind is even more intimate. It's a line in the verse. But actually, even more is extra, just intimate. Heart mind. This. And Tozan presents it immediately. Mumonkan comments with an ironic appreciation. Old Tozan realized a bit of clam zen. Slightly opening the two halves of the shell, he exposed his liver and intestines. Masagin. How would you put it? This awake world. Sitting, listening, chanting, bowing. In the early 2000s, John Daido Loori gave a Teisho on this case. The heart of it was Daido Loori's turn from what is Buddha to what does a Buddha do? It's touching, hopeful, profoundly hopeful, and deeply human. He recounts there beautifully this whole litany of instances of giving, receiving. This one reality, Masagin. His talk, Daido Loori's talk, calls to mind a book by Hosen Alan Senaki Roshi. That book, The Bodhisattva's Embrace. Senaki Roshi writes the whole book around this essay by Dogen, The Four Methods of the Bodhisattva, where the first method is dana, generosity, giving. You're giving yourself to yourself and others to others at this very moment. So back in December, Hosen Senaki had a heart attack following surgery. I talked about it then, that it took 12 minutes to revive him, 12 minutes without oxygen. The family gathered around, just swarmed in, enveloping him with care. Alan is alive in very altered circumstances. Friends from all around follow on this site, the Caring Bridge. Masagin. Masagin is his rest, is his mind, is his body, is his activism. A couple of days ago, there's a journal entry by a close friend and a Dharma sibling of Alan's, Colleen Bush. She wrote this. Tozan's way has always been to face outward, into the world, inquiring about and expressing interest in others, mindful of shared connections. So I shouldn't have been surprised yesterday when he asked about the well-being of some mutual friends and how my home remodel is coming along. It's a miracle that he can talk, and he is. She goes on, Tozan's mind is not bed-bound. It is capacious and quick. His humor is intact. When I say I'm writing poetry these days, he quips, yes, that's where the big money is. He was able to call Sylvie, his daughter, using voice activation technology. Asked by her if he wanted to give her a one-sentence description of his day, he answered simply, no. It's a delight to be in the presence of such a resilient and familiar mind. But his body has not been so quick or willing to bounce back. The road to recovery is a long walk through strange woods. Body and mind aren't separate, of course, but like two parallel trails, one is easier to find and travel right now than the other. Where do the trails lead? Will they converge? No one knows. Tozan and all of us who love him can only take this walk together, one footfall at a time, noticing and appreciating the beauty and mystery along the way. To catch the heart off guard and blow it open. Sitting on this mountain until only the mountain remains. Sitting on this seat until just one sitting. Thank you for this shared practice.